My mother ripped apart my 8-year-old stepdaughter's toy, the last gift from her late mother, and sneered, "Enough with this junk! Your mom's dead. Time to get over it." My sister nodded in agreement. I didn't cry. I acted. 2 weeks later, they were the ones crying. We went to my parents' house for what they called a quiet family dinner. Translation: our once-a-month duty visit, where we all dress up and pretend we're a picture-perfect family. I could have sketched the scene before even walking in. Table set like royalty might drop by, napkins folded into little swans, china out of the cabinet just to impress. My mom playing the cheerful hostess, my dad doing his usual impression of background furniture. Amanda, my sister, glowing as the family's success story. And me, the extra, the one who's supposed to smile politely and thank them for letting me exist. We brought a pie and our best fake smiles. Travis helped Camilla with her scarf. She clutched her stuffed rabbit, old, worn, one ear practically bald from years of hugs. She doesn't always carry him, only when she's anxious. He's her shield, her anchor. The one thing she still has from her mom, this woman I never knew, but whose ghost has been sitting at our table ever since she died 2 years ago. That rabbit isn't a toy. It's memory stitched in fabric. It's safety. It's love that didn't vanish. And tonight, the rabbit came with us, which meant Camilla already knew it was going to be a rough evening, because we were at my parents' house. Amanda saw us and rolled her eyes. "Oh, she still drags that thing around?" I didn't answer. Camilla hugged the rabbit tighter. It wasn't the first time. The rabbit had been the punchline in this house more than once. Mom sighing. "How long are we going to watch her drag that rag everywhere?" Amanda sneering. 8 years old and still acting like a baby with a rattle. To them, he was trash. To Camilla, he was her mother's voice whispering, "You're not alone." We sat down, exchanged the usual pleasantries. Mom disappeared into the kitchen. And that's when it started. Mason, Amanda's 10-year-old tornado of a son, leaned across the table. "What's that? That ugly bunny? Let me see." He'd overheard all the adult jokes about the creepy old rabbit, and now he had his chance to turn it into sport. He yanked the rabbit by its arm. Camilla gasped, sprang up. "Give it back!" "It's mine." Mason laughed, bolted around the table, holding it above his head like a trophy. "Catch me!" Camilla chased after him. "Mason!" I shouted. "Give it back!" "Now!" He ignored me. They kept circling the table, glasses clinking, china rattling like it was about to leap off the shelves. Travis barked, "Enough!" But of course no one listened. It all went to hell in seconds. Mason swerved too sharply, smacked into the table, and a vase hit the floor. Shattered. The crack was so sharp, the whole house went silent. Right then, Camilla lunged and grabbed the rabbit's other arm. Both kids tugging, yelling, laughing, crying. It was chaos. And then my mom stormed in. "What is going on here?" She froze on the shards. "My vase. Do you know how much that cost?" The kids were still yanking the rabbit back and forth. Camilla screaming, "Let go!" Mason giggling, twisting away. Travis moved toward them, but my mom got there first. She snapped, "Give it here!" and yanked hard. And just like that, the rabbit ripped. The seam tore down its side. One limp arm dangled by a thread in my mother's hand. "You broke it!" Camilla's scream cut through the room. That "you" wasn't just aimed at Mason, or my mom. It was aimed at this entire house. My mom shot Camilla a look so sharp it could have cut glass. "Enough with this junk. Your mom's dead. Time to get over it," Amanda chimed in right on cue. "Exactly. You're too old for stuffed animals." "That's for babies," Camilla was already sobbing. "But it was my mom's gift," she whispered, clutching at the torn rabbit. Mom shoved her little hand aside and twisted the knife deeper. "Your mom's been gone for years. Stop making a tragedy out of nothing." She said it cold, flat, right into my daughter's tear-streaked face. Then, as if to put a period on her cruelty, She yanked the dangling arm completely off, balled the rabbit up, and tossed it into the trash can by the sideboard, like she was flicking away an apple core. Quick, efficient, disposable. And just like that, she turned back to her precious vase. "Look what you've done to my house!" she wailed. "Can't anyone behave like civilized people?" Camilla broke. She threw herself into Travis's arms, sobbing so hard her little chest shook. He held her tight, whispering anything he could think of, though his face looked gutted. I didn't say a word. I walked to the trash, pulled out the rabbit, ripped, filthy, stained with someone else's dinner, and handed it back to Camilla. "It's okay, sweetheart," I said as evenly as I could. "We'll fix him. I promise." She nodded through tears, pressing her forehead into Travis's shoulder, clutching the rabbit's good arm like it was life support. I turned to my mother. "You didn't just throw away a toy," I told her. "You threw away her right to remember, to grieve, to keep her mother close." "Oh, don't start," she scoffed. "It's a rag. That's all." She waved a hand at my crying child like she was swatting at a fly. "No reason to have this drama. Look what they did to my vase." "An object," I cut in. "Just a thing." Unlike that rabbit, my dad, the eternal spectator, caught my eye across the table. His face was red with shame, but shame in this family is silent. He muttered something like, "Let's just," then stopped. That was the sum total of his courage. My mom's lips thinned. "Erica, don't you dare make a scene." "We don't do that in this house, in your house," I said. "The rule is pretending pain doesn't exist." And then calling it overreacting. "Don't worry, there won't be a scene. We're leaving." "You always dramatize everything," Amanda jumped in. "This is nothing. Honestly, it's pathetic." "You're right," I told her. "There's nothing to say." "Because you'll never understand," I turned to Travis. "Let's go." He nodded, his hands shaking as he zipped Camilla's coat. She clutched the rabbit's one good arm like it was a wounded friend. "Stop this nonsense right now," Mom barked, desperate to reclaim control. "Children need to face reality." I looked her dead in the eye. "Reality? Fine. Here's reality. You will never get near my daughter again. Ever. How dare you speak to your mother like that?" she shrieked. "Like an adult who protects her child," I said, calm but final. She kept ranting about teaching lessons and setting boundaries, and rabbits are for toddlers. But her voice had become white noise. Rain on the windshield. Loud, constant, irrelevant. When the front door shut behind us, I knew that was the last family dinner of my life. Outside, Travis gently settled Camilla into the car. She was still sniffling, but quieter now. I slid in beside her, pulled her close, and took the torn rabbit's arm from her little hand. "We'll fix him," I whispered. She turned, eyes still wet. "Will he be like before?" "Better," I told her. "Because now he'll have a scar." "You know what that means?" She shook her head. "It means he went through pain and still survived." "It means he's strong." Camilla nodded and finally closed her eyes. I stared out at the glow of other people's homes and thought, tonight wasn't just about broken toys. Tonight was about drawing a line, about choosing who gets to stay in your life and who doesn't. We got home late, ate something quick. Travis and I tucked Camilla in. She lay there clutching her mangled rabbit like it was life support. "Do they really think I'm weird?" she whispered. I stroked her hair. "No, sweetheart. You're not weird. You just remember your mom. That's not strange. It's beautiful." Travis sat on the edge of the bed, slid his hand over hers. "Listen, kiddo. You're strong. You're brave. Your mom would be proud of you. Nobody gets to decide what matters to you." Camilla sniffled, hugged the rabbit tighter. "But if he falls apart completely, will Mom be gone too?" My chest twisted. "No," I told her. "Your mom's always with you, in your head, in your heart. The rabbit we can fix. Promise." She finally nodded, shut her eyes, still holding him like a shield. Later, I sat in the kitchen and realized, tonight wasn't new. This story started years ago. My family has always divided the world into ours and the others. Once, I was the other. Now it's Camila. And my job is to make damn sure she never has to grow up in that same cage. Growing up, I knew my role. Amanda was the golden child. Our little star. The life of the party. She could tell a bad joke or sing off key, and they'd clap like she was Broadway ready. Me? I was the background noise. Sit still, Erica. Don't bother your sister. I was sent to the corner even when there wasn't a corner. Amanda was praised for trying, even if she tanked. I could work my ass off and ace everything, and Mom would just sigh. Well, of course you're the straight A one. Like it cost me nothing. We grew up. I went into marketing, budgets, deadlines, corporate babysitting of entire teams. Amanda bounced from job to job, whining that life isn't fair. Didn't matter. She was still the star. I was still the one who owed everyone more. Then I met Travis. I thought, finally, here's something they can't pick apart. He's smart, kind, solid. A high school history teacher. The kids adore him. Colleagues respect him. But to my parents, that wasn't enough. A teacher? Well, at least it's stable, but always that but. They wanted a lawyer, a banker, someone with a tie and a god complex. Travis was too ordinary. And worst of all, he had Camila. She was 6 then, freshly motherless. By the time she and I met, she already had that too-old look in her eyes, the kind you shouldn't see on a child. I fell for both of them, him and her, and when we married a year later, my family acted like I'd detonated a bomb. You're young, Erica. Why chain yourself like this? Couldn't you find a man without baggage? You really think another woman's child will ever love you like a mom? They never got it. Camila wasn't baggage. She wasn't someone else's kid. She was mine. A daughter chosen by love. But my family only saw a burden. Amanda's son Mason was the real grandchild. The heir. Camila? Always the outsider. Nobody said it directly, but it seeped out everywhere. Mason got applause for breathing. Camila got side eyes for being quiet, for clinging to her rabbit, for not playing their game. Travis stayed polite, but I saw his jaw clench every time my mom or Amanda slipped in one of their helpful comments. So we built Camila her own world at home, one where no one measured her against anyone else. I never forced Mom on her. She called me Erica, and that was fine. She knew I was there. Meanwhile, my parents never stopped reminding me of what I owed to them. It was gospel. They weren't rich, but they lived like the neighbors had binoculars on them 24/7. Theater subscriptions, country club dues, repainting the house facade, always for show, always for others. And who funded the performance? Me. Because, Erica, you need to support your parents. We're not getting any younger. Or, you can afford it, Erica. We have to keep up appearances. Or the classic, you've got a stable job, Amanda's divorced, drowning in bills, raising Mason alone. It's harder for her. And so, like an idiot, I paid. My help was always a one-way street. Me giving, them taking. Their return gift? Criticism. Gratitude wasn't part of the deal. And today, Mom talked to Camila the same way she's always talked to me. Cut you down, dismiss your feelings, twist the knife just enough to remind you who's in charge. For me, it was routine. For Camila, it was a wound I refused to let deepen. Watching her sob into Travis's chest, her little shoulders shaking, I knew. Enough. They'd done it to me my whole life. They weren't going to do it to her. I had a new mission now, not pleasing, not explaining, protecting. That night, when the house was quiet, I sat in the kitchen under the yellow glare of one lamp, sewing the rabbit's arm back on. Stitch by stitch. Careful, steady. And every time the needle pierced the fabric, Mom's words replayed in my head. Your mom's dead. Time to get over it. I yanked one stitch so hard the needle nearly snapped. No, don't get over it. Don't break. Hold on. By the time I finished, the rabbit still looked worn out, but stronger. Not as good as new. Better. Scarred, but whole. Like the rest of us. I set him on Camilla's nightstand, facing her pillow, so that when she woke up, he'd be there. Her rabbit. Her memory. Still with her. And me too. Camilla woke up earlier than usual. I heard her bare little feet padding down the hall, quiet, like she didn't want to wake the whole house. A minute later, she was at our bedroom door, wide-eyed, clutching her rabbit. Look, she whispered. He's whole again. The arm was stitched back on, the ear secured like it had never fallen off. I'd decided not to hide the seams on purpose, so she'd see it. Broken things can be put back together. You fixed him? Her voice cracked, but a smile was already fighting its way onto her face. I nodded. Of course. No one's taking away what matters to you. She wrapped her arms around me tight. Thank you. Travis ruffled her hair. See? Even if someone ruins something, you've got us. We'll make it right. She lit up. And that glow, right there, that was worth every stitch I pulled at 3 a.m. After breakfast, Camilla ran off to play, leaving us in the kitchen with coffee. Travis studied me. You didn't sleep, did you? Barely, I shrugged. But honestly, it's not exhaustion. It's rage. At Mom, at Amanda, at the whole circus. And then it hit me, this urge to cut ties. Not gently, not with a family discussion clean cut. Sharp. Final. I opened my laptop. First tab, online banking. I'd set up autopays ages ago, so money kept flowing even when I wasn't thinking about it. Each transaction was like a hook, keeping me tethered to people who had just shredded an 8-year-old's heart. You sure? Travis asked quietly. 100%. And I started. First, the mortgage payment. My parents' house, way too big for just the two of them, but they clung to it like it was Buckingham Palace. I'd been covering part of it every month. Not anymore. Cancel autopay. Next, Amanda's little problems, which were always my problems. Her debts. Mason's sports program. Translation, pricey activity he ditched half the time. The new phone because the old one lags. Always me. Always. Erica, you understand, right? Yeah, I understood. Now it was over. Cut off. Then came the part that stung most. The trip. Travis and I had been planning to take Camilla to the ocean this summer. Nothing fancy, just a week of sandcastles and seashells. I'd even considered bringing Mason along, thought maybe it'd do him good to escape his grandmother's orbit. Maybe he and Camilla could connect. Forget it. Not happening. I deleted his name from the booking, switched the tickets for just the 3 of us. Amanda and Mason had been expecting that trip, but too bad. Our vacation is ours. Period. I kept going. Mom's beauty subscription, the salon package I'd been covering just because. Her line, I have to look presentable. You wouldn't want people thinking I've let myself go. Cancelled. She can decide how to look presentable on her own dime. And their precious country club. Not the fancy kind dripping in wealth. Still pricey enough. Pool, tennis courts, bragging rights for the neighbors. $250 a month. Off my card. By the time I was done, my hands were trembling. Not from doubt, but from relief. It felt like pulling out a dozen tiny barbs from under my skin. Finally breathing clean air. There, I exhaled. It's just us now. The 3 of us, Travis slid behind me, arms around my shoulders. I'm proud of you. I nodded. Proud of myself, too. That night, I peeked in on Camilla. She was fast asleep, clutching her rabbit. No trace of yesterday's breakdown. Just steady breathing, like the world finally felt safe again. I sat beside her for a while, and I knew, this time, something had really shifted. 2 weeks of silence. I knew the storm would hit the second they realized the money stopped, and right on schedule, 2 weeks later, it started. First call? Mom. Of course. Erica, it's the first of the month and the transfer didn't come through. You probably just forgot? I didn't forget, Mom. There won't be any more transfers. Pause. I could hear her breathing, short, offended. How could you? We're family. Exactly. And after what you did, family doesn't do that to a child. I hung up before the lecture could start. A couple hours later, Amanda. You do realize Mason can't keep playing travel hockey now? That fee was on your card. Guess Hockey Mom will have to pay it herself, I said flatly. I'm a single mom. You know that. I do. And I also know I have a child of my own. Your problems aren't mine to fix. Silence. Then just, you're selfish. Click. The next day, the voice messages started. Mom's greatest hits. You betrayed us. After everything we've done for you. God sees everything. I didn't bother listening all the way through. Deleted them. Not out of spite, out of clarity. Those monologues never contain questions, only orders wrapped in guilt. And then, shocker, Dad actually woke up. Usually he's furniture with a pulse. This time, a text. If your mother has a heart attack from this stress, that'll be on you. I stared at the screen and laughed. Bitterly. Of course. Apparently my duties now include cardiovascular risk management. When they realized I wasn't budging, they started hitting Travis instead. Calls, texts. He stayed cool, almost robotic. Talk to Erica. It's her decision. My husband, solid as a rock. But storms don't stop at drizzle. One Sunday, pounding on the door, demanding, relentless. I knew before I opened it. The whole parade. Mom, Amanda, and shockingly, Dad. Guess they figured this time needed the full family SWAT team. I opened. They marched in without waiting, like it was still their house. Mom's eyes swept the hallway, already judging the presentation. Dad plopped into a chair like he owned the place. Amanda crossed her arms. We need to talk, Mom said, voice sharp enough to cut glass. Your behavior is unacceptable. You don't just cut off your family like this. I didn't cut off family. I cut off toxicity. Big difference. You owe us, Dad chimed in. We raised you. Put our time, our effort, our money into you. Wow. Dad actually stringing whole sentences together. What a performance. We poured our souls into you, he said. Except they never had any soul to begin with. I kept my tone level. So what is this? An invoice for my childhood? Trust me, I've paid you back plenty. If anything, you owe me. For years of comparisons, for teaching me my job was to sit down, shut up, and make it easy for everyone else. Amanda rolled her eyes. Oh God, here we go again, drama queen. And then she lunged in with her own guilt trip. Do you even realize Mason can't go to camp now? He's been waiting all year. He's a kid, Erica. You're stealing his summer. I smirked. No, Amanda. Providing him a summer is your job. He's your kid. Your responsibility. She doubled down. You know I don't have the money. I'm raising him alone. Why punish him? He's your nephew. You promised you'd take him to the beach with Camilla. What, now he doesn't get to go? We promised, on one condition, that the adults acted like actual adults. Condition failed. We're going as 3, not 4. That's cruel. He already told all his friends at school he's going. What's cruel, I said, is looking an 8-year-old in the face and saying, enough with this junk. Your mom's dead. Time to get over it. My decision? That's just common sense. And then Dad, of all people, jumped back in, leaning forward like some courtroom drama hero. Erica, listen. Your mom went too far with the rabbit, okay? She lost her temper. Just forgive her. She's still your mother. This isn't worth blowing up the family over. He waved toward Mom, who was suddenly very interested in the carpet. "Doris, say something." "Come on, apologize. We'll all move on." After a long pause, Mom muttered, "Fine." I didn't mean anything by it. Don't be mad. For her, that was Everest level. For me? Zero weight. I knew exactly what it was. Not regret, not conscience, just strategy. They didn't care about Camilla's tears. They cared about their canceled autopays. They all stared at me, waiting. In their script, this was the part where I'd melt, say, "Okay, let's forget it," and go back to footing their bills. Instead, I sighed, looked each of them in the eye, and said, "You really think this is about one night? One broken toy? It's not. There have been years of nights like that. Years of being told I was less, that I had to swallow it and smile. Now you've done the same thing to my daughter, and I'm done." I let the silence stretch, then added, "Mistakes I can forgive. But this isn't a mistake. This is who you are, and I refuse to keep living by your rules." My mom's face twisted into that "how dare you" look, and Amanda wouldn't shut up. "Fine, whatever. You've got issues with Mom and Dad, but Mason? Why should he suffer? He didn't do anything. Now he can't play travel hockey. The fees, the gear, everything came off your card. He's crushed." "I'm not an ATM, Amanda," I said evenly. "Your son's hobbies are your problem, not mine." "I've told you that already." "You're heartless," she spat. "You have money." "Why won't you help?" "Because I have a daughter now. And you almost broke her. My money goes where love is, not where guilt is weaponized." That's when Mom finally snapped, like she'd been holding it in the whole time. "She's not your daughter, Erica." "She's someone else's kid. One fight with Travis, one divorce, and she's nothing to you again. But we're your family. Blood. Your mother, your father, your sister. How can you throw us away for a child who isn't even yours? Travis and Camilla won't thank you for this. You'll regret it when you're left all alone." I actually laughed. Bitterly. "There it is. What you really think, finally out loud. To you, Camilla is a stranger. To me, she's my daughter. Not by blood. By choice. By love. And that counts for more than whatever DNA you're worshipping." I looked straight at her. "You call yourselves family? Family doesn't tear a kid down just to feel powerful. Family protects. I chose to be her family. You chose to be strangers." I stood, my voice low now, almost calm. "So no, Mom. I won't end up alone. You will." That's when the bedroom door creaked open. Travis. He'd been with Camilla, keeping her away from this poison, but Mom's screaming must have carried through. He stepped into the room and stood beside me. "Erica's right," he said. His voice was calm, but there was steel in it. "Camilla is our daughter. We will protect her with everything we've got. And no, we're not splitting up. We love each other. We back each other. That's not changing. Ever." He let that hang, then added, "Erica won't end up alone. We won't leave her. The truth is, you already did. Long before I showed up." Mom flinched like he'd slapped her. She shot to her feet, marched up to me, and hissed in my face, "You think we'll forget this? You'll come crawling back when life turns on you. And it'll be too late." I stepped back. "No crawling. Don't worry. I've survived plenty, with or without you." They stormed out, slamming the door behind them. For a moment I thought, maybe that's it. Maybe now it's over. Naive. I know. A few days later, Camilla came home from school pale, eyes red. "Erica, Grandma came up to me after class. She said it's my fault everyone's fighting, that I broke the family, because I won't let go of junk. I went cold inside. Sweetheart, no, that's not true. The adults are guilty here, not you. Never you. But," she said, "if it wasn't for me, you'd all still be together. and that I have to convince you to stop being mad. Otherwise, I'm a bad girl. I pulled her close. You are a good girl. The best. Don't you ever believe otherwise. Your dad and I love you more than anything, and we're proud of you. Travis came in, sat down, and wrapped his arms around both of us. We stayed like that until she stopped shaking, and then I did what needed to be done. Filed the paperwork. A restraining order. Now it's official. Mom, Dad, Amanda. They're legally barred from going near Camilla. Did that stop them? Of course not. The phone still buzzed. The texts still rolled in. Mom even wrote some dramatic essay about how they just wanted to teach her to share, how I'd grown cold, how they're aging and might need help. I didn't answer. Dad called Travis instead. Tell her to at least keep paying for the club. People know us there. Don't embarrass us, Travis, steady as ever. Erica made her decision. I support her completely. You're turning her against us. No, you did that yourselves. 2 weeks later, Mom sent me a screenshot. Happy now? It was the club's official notice. Membership suspended for non-payment. I didn't reply. Amanda tried next. A text. Mason's crying. He's not going to camp. You satisfied? Attached. Photo of an empty suitcase. I shut off my phone and looked at Camilla sitting on the floor building with Legos and thought, yes, I am satisfied because my kid is finally living in a world where adults don't rip her memories apart. The hardest habit was fighting the urge to explain myself, to type out a long speech. I'm not a monster, I'm just protecting my child. But I'd stop every time. They didn't want explanations. They wanted money, submission. So let them call, let them text, let them wallow in drama. I chose silence. The kind of silence where nobody dares call my child guilty. They lost access to my money, and with it, access to my life. And at home, it was quiet. Camilla played with her toys, drew pictures, built castles. The rabbit wasn't glued to her hand. It was more like a seatbelt. Not always needed, but always there for safety. Sometimes I'd catch myself listening to the sound of her breathing. Steady, calm. And I'd realize, we made it out. If you want it in one line, they lost my money, my time, my door. And I gained peace. Sometimes I catch myself thinking, maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I should have kept quiet, kept paying, pretended everything was fine. But then I look at Camilla, and I know, no, I did what I had to do. I chose her, and I'd choose her again, every single time. What about you? Did I go too far? Or was this the only way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear what you think. And if this story hit you, subscribe for more.